decided today that I wanted to make a tier list on Reverse 99 character portraits. So if you don't already know, character portraits are like constellations, or basically what you get when you get a duplicate of a character. And instead of it being converted into like currency, you get ability boosts, or sometimes like changes to the kit. Sometimes. Hence why we're talking about it. So I went through all of the current 6-star kits up to Isolde, and I wanted to put them in a tier list and share my thoughts about them. This is essentially a video of just me yapping about it, so obviously you are entitled to your own opinion, and so feel free to comment your own experiences with the characters in the comments below, or if you perhaps disagree or would change up the tier list a little bit. So we're not going to be going into a perfect order, but let us start. The first one I wanted to start with is actually Melania. So Melania is a character that actually gets a lot of value from her portraits. Mostly because it makes her Thief Master buff that she gets from her ultimate constant. As long as you use the skill that boosts Moxie when you have the Thief Master. Now, the only problem with her portraits is that it is high investment, but she typically wants to be... Well, is it actually that high investment? Hold up. I believe it's Portrait 2, where you get all the big buffs, if I'm correct. Let me check this out. Yes, it is actually Portrait 2, so it's not that high investment. The rest of the portraits from 3 to 5 are actually just more damage bonuses, which is obviously not bad, but I will be valuing utility over just more multipliers. And I have like looked at all the portraits for 6 stars, so I've noticed like a pattern of what the multiplier caps out at. So overall, Melania I would put in S. If you have dupes of her, be happy. I actually don't have her at all. In the future. Upcoming next, I wanted to talk about Annalie. Annalie was one of my starting characters, and I actually think that her portraits are not that important. Essentially, it is all multiplier bonuses across the board. Now, if we look at the boosts in her damage from P0 to P5, let me pull up the little thing and tell you what the difference is. So her mass attack at P0 is 400 reality damage versus P5, it boosted up to 550, which means that essentially she only gets a 150 bonus, which is not... you'll see in the future that some characters get, like at P0, they can get a 100% boost or a 75% boost, whilst she only gets a 50% boost. And all of her portraits are not like utility based. Like, if I were to design her to make her more stronger, I would probably make her haze or her buffs increase. So for example, Daze stuns is essentially stun in this game. And she gets it on her incantation Taoist rune at 3 stars. And with her passive, it is easier to get her incantations at 3 stars, but it is still like, it's not ultra consistent. So I feel like her role is more of a buffer sub DPS, and obviously for DPS that means it's alright. You know, more damage is good, but it's not, it doesn't really pay off. Like, the multipliers aren't there, and it's not necessary. I don't think it changes her utility. So I would put her on C tier. next that I will be going for is, I think I'll be going for Regulus. So, Regulus is a fun one. Regulus wants to attack every other turn because she gets a crit buff if she misses one of her rotations. So she is, I don't know if she's exactly a carry unit. I don't have her. But she is, I feel like, a character who's slot in with another DPSer. But her constellations or her portraits, sorry for the terminology, her portraits are just damage boosts until portrait 5, which gives her a extra round for her riot and roll buff. And how her riot and roll buff is a buff granted to all allies on her ultimate, and it essentially gives you immunity to everything, like invincibility. It says evade, dodges any attack for blah 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 turns, but it's essentially just invincibility. And it is very strong, especially to have for 2 turns. Now the only problem is it is P5, so so far the game feels very free to play to me. It's essentially just a slow burner. The more you play it, the more reward you get. So eventually I expect people for as more banners rotate and such, you'll eventually have a P5 character, and she would definitely be a good character to have, but she wouldn't be someone I would necessarily aim for. At least that's my opinion. Still, very good, very good. So I'm gonna put her at solid, but needs high investment. You know, it's just. Also, you're getting less from her multipliers innately, I believe, just because you have to use her every other turn versus characters who could be used any turn. Although, wait, I didn't check how strong the multipliers are. The multipliers are just the base 150, but at P3 versus, no, at P4, I lied. Okay, it's still, yeah, but I think the P5, if it was just another damage boost, then I would put it at, like, lower maybe, but since it is utility and quite strong, I would put it at, solid. Upcoming character is, I want to talk about, let's talk about Fairy, Two Fairy. Now, Two Fairy is a very strong unit at P0, but Two Fairy gets even stronger with more investment. Woo! Significantly speaking, her P0 or P5 is when her critical rate almost doubles. Or sorry, not critical rate. Let me quickly go on her and find her. Hold up. Let me read it out to you. Her critical rate defense decrease. So, critical resist and critical defense minus 25 versus her innate 15. It is quite strong. But at P2, the reason why I think I'm gonna put her in A tier probably, or I don't know. I'm kind of confused whether it should be A or S. Since she is like I don't know, I saw her in every team. Also, something I want to point out is that her multiplier on P1 is automatically 100%. So 500% mental damage versus 600% mental damage. It is automatically a extra, like, it's more significant than someone else's P1 that we've talked about here in terms of damage multipliers. Hence why, I feel like, I don't know, I want to put her on S tier, I really do, but I feel like it's not necessary to have her there. Like, yes, the, extra turn for her debuffs are very valuable, but you typically cycle through it well enough that, I don't know, it doesn't feel mandatory to me, so I'm gonna leave her at overall good, but, if the Baby Tooth Collector was at P2, it would automatically go at, like, S tier, or even SS tier, but since it is at P5, it is high investment, but it is still good at P2, which is lesser investment, so I'll leave it at overall good. Next character we're gonna be talking about is let's talk about Pickles. So, unfortunately, as cute as the doggle is, I'm pretty sure Pickles doesn't really get that much of a boost from their portraits. Let me go find Pickles here. So, Pickles gets just a 75 increase on their ult, I believe. If I'm correct. Yep, 75 increase on P1. Oh wait, hold up. P2 is an attack buff or damage dealt plus 40 to all allies versus the what? What is the innate one? Is it like 20%? Or I gotta check this one out. Hold up. The spokes pickle. I'm not finding it. Oh no, it's only a 10%. Oh no! Okay, it's not a doubling damage. Okay, alright. So the buff is innately at P0, it's 30%. And at P2, it's 40%. Okay, it's not that much of a difference. And then the rest of the things are just more damage, and it scales up to 150 extra. I would have to say that it's this tier. I would put it in front of Annalie, but it's not like it. Yes, that if it was 50% or like 60%, doubling it, it would definitely go into like overall good, because it would just be at like P2 instant damage bonus doubled. But no, it's only a 10% versus a 40 versus a 30, so it just it feels kind of low value. I also don't see a lot of people using Pickles. I don't even have a Pickles, but we're not going to be talking about like utility meta that much. I mean, a little bit, because some characters are just overall like very strong meta contesters, but yeah. And next one I want to talk about is Miss Babble. I'm just gonna skip over, but essentially Miss Babble just gets more defense, more damage multipliers. Miss Babble is kind of just one of those. Oh, she gets a little bit on her shield bonus as well, so more scaling on that. But I feel like Miss Babble is a character that's just power crept by Tenant, which is weird. At least in her role, her taunt is not that great, in my opinion. She just, I would say that it's not needed. She kind of does her job. Her niche is already fulfilled at P0, so overall, not something I would aim for. Next one I want to talk about is 37. Now, 37 is actually quite significant because it changes at Constellation 1 or Portrait 1. She gets a extra 20% crit rate, which actually enables her quite a lot. And then her rest of her portraits are Eureka stacks, and just increases to her extra attack, I believe. Yeah. Now the damage difference, I think, is generally significant-ish. I don't know. It's not. I mean, at level 4, it's quite good. It's not. I don't know. I feel like the more you go with her, it's not necessary. I think I would actually put her at S tier, just because, like, all you need is just one constellation or one portrait, and you're good to go. So that's honestly something that I might go for in the future, even as like a free-to-play player. So yeah, just that extra 20% boost is quite significant to make her a more consistent damage dealer. I feel like she would go on the S tier if like she got another extra attack or something, but nah, she just gets stats, more multipliers, and well, I would say the what is it? The crit rate is nothing to scoff at, so I'll leave it there. Let me drink some tea. Sorry for the tea break. Next character I want to talk about is, I want to talk about, how about we talk about Lilia? So, Lilia, I will skim over this. Essentially, it is a attack multipliers, and the attack multipliers don't go that high up, and it is also a slight increase to her leech rate, which also is not that significant because you don't necessarily, I mean, yeah, obviously you get her ultimate off, but the increase on net, well, her B1 is a 75%. It's not a 50%, it's a 75%. So it's like, it's okay. But at high investment, I feel like you get less and less for your buck. At least that's my opinion. I mean, she is, if you're using her, she's probably your main damage dealer. So obviously more constellations is not bad. But, like, I would put this over Pickles and, like, I don't know. It's between here and here. It's not, it doesn't do much, but it's also not bad. Like, straight up, having that 75% boost on your main damage dealer is good. Like, I would say she gets more value out of it than, like, Annalie or, Baby Babble or... But I also don't feel like it's... I think I'll just leave it here because it says in between. In between fits quite well. Alright, so next one. I want to talk about Druvis. So, what does Druvis get? I believe it's damage. Like most of them are just damage, but I need to double check that. Where is Druvis? How is Druvis? Oh, she changes so drastically from her Insight 2 to Insight 0. Alright, so, yep, it is just damage. And then more penetration rate at P5. And the damage increase is actually quite low. It's like only capped out at 100 extra %. Oh, that's not... I don't like this one bit, actually. Only extra 10% penetration rate. Ooh, this is rough. I have to put this low, just because it feels very low value. Like, the multipliers only get increased on her, other skills that's not her ultimate by, on the incantation 2s, or, sorry, on the 2-star incantations, instead of just, like, overall buff. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I'd have to put it here. I'm sorry. This could be wrong. It could be here or maybe even here, but no thank you. Now I want to talk about I want to talk about the one and only a knight. So a knight's portraits are dun 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 dun. Reality damage increase, and at P5 it's another stack of rousing morale when he defeats an enemy. I mean, the damage increase is at like 100, yeah, it's 100%. So, I'd have to put it here. Or maybe here. I'm kind of about this, cause the rousing morale is conditional. The damage increase on P1 is good. But like the more investment you go in, it's like yeah, I'd put it here. It's not bad because if you get one dupe, you're probably already good to go. The ones between 1 to 5 become like relatively insignificant. So yeah. Next one, we're blasting through these. My God. The next one I want to talk about is Shamane. So Shamane, actually, I like read his stuff, and I was actually quite impressed because he's a underutilized unit. I think, I don't know. I guess maybe I don't keep up with the community enough to know, but when I saw his stuff, I was like, damn, yeah, that's actually quite useful. If I can find him, that is. Alright, here he is. So he gets a additional stacks of Nature's Blessing, which is his own mechanic, which is after casting the ultimate, spend up to 5 stacks of this. Spend all stacks of less than 5, and gain an equal amount of Moxie. So this is actually just makes him be an ultimate spammer, which is really strong. So his base one is I believe 2 stacks of Nature's Blessings. But with the just P1, you get his max stacks and can automatically just make him go sickle mode. And his ultimate is extremely valuable. It gives I believe, is it a universal buff? No, it's not. It's a crit rate buff to himself, but Edict is yeah. And at P2, that critical rate goes from 20 to 60%, and it's like, okay, and at like P5 it's like 100%. Which makes him like, he's one of those unique characters that you can just fully build crit damage. Like, he has a lot of potential. I feel like he's one of those like super high investment characters. Although here's the thing, I would not necessarily go all out for him still, just because how good his P1 is. I'm gonna put him at S very strong. Or maybe our first S rank, just because I feel like it does the most. I'm gonna put it here. This doesn't really reflect how good he is as a like overall character, but his portraits are probably one of the uniquely best ones I've seen. So I'm gonna put it there. Next one I want to talk about is Ezra. So Ezra is actually quite handy. Ezra's whole mechanic, when I first read Ezra's kit, I was a tiny bit confused. He has like a honey fungus on the field, vulnerability stacks. I'm not gonna fully understand this one, but essentially, with his portrait one, he gains more Eureka, which I believe enables, I don't know what it enables actually. I don't know. I don't know. Let me read this. I'm so confused. Damn, I don't know. What the frick does his Eureka do? Is it in his passive? Oh yeah, alright, so okay, 4 Eureka, so he gets 2 mushrooms. Isn't that his cap on mushrooms? I think it is. Yeah, okay, so he gets his full cap here. And then he makes it so on P2, it makes it so he loses less HP. So also his P1 makes it, this one's a bit confusing. I'm sorry, I may not be able to fully evaluate this one because I just don't understand his kit that much. But essentially you get back the HP lost and you lose less HP, so you're at like a slight bonus HP. Seems okay. and then you just get more shield. Okay. I would say this is in between. It's not something high investment for, but it's also not something I would. Well, I don't know. I feel like a P1 is actually quite necessary to use him. I could be wrong though, especially if you're running him with like a healer. He only heals himself, right? So you'd still need. I mean, the shield is something, but yeah. Only heals himself. That's what I'm reading into here. Or I could be wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna put this at here. It's an in-between. It's fine, but I can't judge this one, I'm sorry. I could have butchered it. Next one I want to talk about is Jessica. So, Jessica, when I read through, essentially what I saw is damage bonus and poison uptime, which I think is actually quite significant for poison teams. So her portrait 1 is reality damage increase. By how much? By 75%, if I'm reading into that correctly. Yeah, 75. And P2 is where she gets her value. I feel like if I rate her, it feels weird because I feel like Ezra gets more value at P1 than Jessica does. So if I put Jessica here, then that just feels weird. I feel like this. I'm just gonna do this. I mean, 75% for a main damage dealer, and that poison uptime is quite essential for poison teams, I would assume. I'm gonna drink more tea. Yeah. Could be wrong though. I don't know. To like continuously stack them. I'll leave it there. Next one. Let's just keep butchering them. Let's talk about Sotheby. Sotheby is the other character that supports poison. And her portraits are, if I can find her. So portrait 1 gives her more damage. She's a healer. It's a 100% extra boost though, so you know that's significant. And it changes her poisons. Now on P2. Now the poison changes very. The poison changes 30 to 40%. It's not that great. It feels considerably weak. And then the HP increase, is that the main one? No, it's it's mass healing. Okay. Ooh. Does that double her healing though? No, it doesn't. I saw weird numbers. It's a 10% boost. What? Bruh, are you kidding me? Oh no, that feels bad. Oh, that doesn't feel very strong. That's like barely much significant booster of the multipliers at all. It only goes up to 20% more damage on the P5. Oh, that's gross. Not even a double in the poison. That is gross. I don't think that does that much for her, honestly. It doesn't increase her poison uptime. It doesn't, like, it barely increases her healing. If they gave, like, healing on her poison skill or something, so she'd be even more, stronger as a sustainer, then maybe, or... they could have done so much for her, but no, that feels weak. Alright. The next healer in store, Medicine Pocket. So, Medicine Pocket's, portraits are, let's see, more healing on the ultimate, I believe? Or, no, is it? Wait, no. Belle of the Forest, healing... Wait, does he just get a healing proc when... Okay, when he goes below 50% HP, he not only increases the healing bonus, but also just heals automatically without casting a skill. That's pretty solid. At P2, you get more healing, and then up to P5, okay, P4 and P3 are just damage increases, kind of insignificant, and then his debuff becomes stronger at P5. The difference is only a 10% boost. Okay, the P1 is actually quite good. The higher you go, though, I feel like it becomes less significant. I'm gonna put it in overall good, though. Seems solid. Just P1 alone. Seen a lot of characters that get, like, enabled at P1, P2. So, like, Jessica and Ezra. That's why they're here. Same with, like... I think this is a fair rating. Even if Tooth Fairy is a much more, commonly praised unit than these other three, her main utility comes at P2. So, it's an equal footing here. Let us talk about... Oh, I forgot to put Isolde here! I fucked that one up. I'll just give you a spoiler warning, though. Isolde is at S rank. Just pretend she's sitting here, sitting pretty. Because, she's a mean... or sub DPS, or, like, carry DPS. It's hard to say. Just because her damage is so big. But... essentially, she gets her extra attacks much faster. It's making me consider to pull for another one, but I think I'll hold off because we're gonna get Lucy, which I will skip. And I know some people might yell at me, like, how dare you skip Lucy? I don't really like her character design, and I'd rather get Marcus, I'd rather get Kakanya, I'd rather get Windsong. There's so many goddamn characters that are gonna be coming up, and it's just like, I can't get all of them. Statistically, I'm bound to lose a couple 50-50s and not luck sacks, so I'm just gonna play safe and save my currency. But yeah, I'll just pretend like night skies and something. But she's S rank. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is let us talk about Centurion. So Centurion is a character I actually don't really like that much. Just because I pulled her, I thought she was going to be very strong. I built her up, and then I realized she felt kind of to use. I mean, she's not bad. Essentially, her Portrait 1 increases her Moxie scaling, almost doubling it. Very good. But then the rest of them are... Okay, it's at P5. P5! Ugh, where she gets her massive, like, I believe it almost doubles it? If I'm correct? Way more than double. Oh, Jesus Christ. It goes from 20%, to 45% multiplier. I feel like at P1 she's solid, though. You still get a massive boost, almost a double at P1, so... I'm gonna leave it at overall good. I think it probably makes her a much more solid carry unit than she is now. I still don't like her that much, even with this. I just feel like it makes her kind of awkward. I wish she had like more crit rate or something instead of the damage dealt boost. She's alright, I guess. Next character, Voyager. The counter meme unit. She's not that much of a meme, she's good. At least people say she is. She gets more damage. All of it is just almost, besides her P2, it's just damage if the target is confused. Difference in multipliers is 75%. Holy sh! The damage goes up to 400 more percent at P5. Okay, this is yeah, this is definitely solid but needs high investment. I feel like her multipliers are actually quite stupid for what I've seen in comparison to other characters. But even so, you need to get more portraits for her to do that silly damage. So I'm gonna put her in high investment. Definitely fits there. The next one I want to talk about is Spathodea. I love Spathodea so much. She's gonna be an S plus rank. And why, you may ask? Well, let's read for her portraits real quick. So, Little Boxer, Portrait 1. Critical damage is increased to 70%. And okay, that's 40 extra percent on her basic. But I feel like the massive boost is the critical rate to her Flame Flower passive. I think it's when applying burn status when attacking an extra 25%, essentially making her guaranteed a crit at Portrait 2. Critical damage is increased. Extra critical damage flame with the fire. That's her ultimate. Yup. That is a more than a double in a little bit over a double. 40 plus 40, 80, quick maths. It gets even stronger at P5, but I don't think it's that significant. Yeah, it's not that significant. It's a 50% boost. Yeah, no, this should, okay, maybe I should not put her, no, bias. You could call me bias. You could put your, no, wait, you don't even, you could put Melania here. This could be the tier list. I don't know. Let's go with 6. So, 6 is, I checked the portraits. Essentially, he gets, more Eureka, for his ultimate. No, he needs less, Eureka for his ultimate. Just one less. And then on 2, I'm also a little bit confused about his kit. It's not that hard to understand, but gain 1 additional Eureka when attacking targets. Damage dealt increases. Adding it becomes 3 to 5. Purify. I don't know, it seems alright. I don't think this changes him as a character that much. I don't know if it's a high investment. It definitely looks better on paper at high investment. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'll leave it here. Or here, because I don't know. I feel like the main shine is P4. Yeah, or maybe not, because you don't get that many debuffs in his team to be able to make use of it. No, wait, but he debuffs on it. No, he's a self-enabler. Okay, so he's gonna sit there. Alright, Jiu Niangzi. Jiu Niangzi is a limited character that I'm definitely pulling portraits for when she reruns. If she does, it is speculated that she will eventually have a rerun once a year, particularly on the Chinese New Year, but it's not guaranteed. I didn't pull for any extra dupes, I only got 1. So, I'm just hoping that she does pop up again. And the thing that I want to highlight is essentially her multipliers and her, her multipliers. So, she gets a, on her level 2, her portrait 2, bottoms up, which is her basic and also the main source of your damage most of the time. For each stack of liquor consumed, reality damage dealt is increased to 90%. So her base is 60%, right? Or 60 reality damage for every stack of liquor consumed. Now, the thing is, you can consume 3 stacks of liquor. So that value can literally almost double. Or not double, I don't know. Big damage, okay? And then at level 4, it becomes even stronger, where her liquor stacks can be, 4 can be consumed. Although that means you need more buffs on the team to get more liquor. So I'm putting her at S rank just because her P2 is enough to just get her there. Okay, tea break. So much goddamn yapping. Maybe a little bit of talking in circles. Eternity. From what I've seen, Eternity gets more leech rate and more damage. I do not remember if she gets more penetration rate. Let's go check that out. Yep, just more damage. Actually, just more damage. And I feel like, oh yeah, her skill caps out at, nah. I saw, only 10% more leech rate? Nah. Only 100% more damage on the max investment? Nah. You're probably good at her, just P0. Isn't needed, doesn't change the character's utility, yeah. I don't know, I don't even know her name. I haven't used her at all besides in like the Uto events. Okay, Kaalaa. Alright. Kaalaa's portraits. Okay, up to 4 planets. Oh, that seems pretty essential. Gains free fall after casting if at least I would have to put this at overall good, just because the P1 seems very essential for her to get, like, essentially, when she gets, like, a planet, she gets a bonus. So, if I go here into her kit, 1 planet, if she has, after active casting, gains 2 Mars, that grants 6% leech rate. If she has, like, would that go up to 9% leech rate? I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know, but even so, it's somewhere around that ballpark. You get the point, but yeah, it kind of makes her much more significant. And now, the last one I want to talk about, and the last one on this list, is Jetyan. So, what does Jetyan get in his, portraits? Jetyan gets an extra round on his Prophecy Told, and his Prophecy Told is, creates a special array. It's a debuff. Allied characters gain, no boosts on, okay, alright. An extra turn on it? I mean, it's not bad. 4 turns, that essentially just makes it so you're almost guaranteed 100% uptime on it. Not bad, not bad. Oh wait, it's, no. Critical rate and critical, when in Prophecy, item missions critical rate. Is this a buff that he gives to other characters? Or is it... No, it's his self buff. It's not bad. It's It's not bad at all. But it's also not... You know what? I'm doing this. Call me biased. This is my tier list. Melania could be slotted down a little lower. Maybe. Or maybe not. I feel like that increase on her thief uptime is actually just essential to make her an actual strong unit. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts down below. Since I am an unprofessional little... Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. This is such a long video. I might play the game, you know? Make a video on it. I feel like the game is very casual. I get the most satisfaction from just building units. You don't have to follow this, especially if you're free to play. Like, you may see this, but if you do not use Shamane, don't bother. Or like, even if you have B0 Spathodea and you're like, man, those buffs look great, but another character's coming up. God forbid they're a limited character, and you can only get 1 or 2 chances. Just go for the new character. I feel like in most cases you'll get more value out of that. Or I could be wrong. I could be wrong, because I feel like, at least my experience with the game is that building units is actually quite expensive. So you have to, it's a management sim. Do what you will. Thanks for listening. Yeah.